In today's video, we're going to be creating our portfolio slides and the testimonial slide for our event planning portfolio template in PowerPoint. If you want to watch other parts of this series where I create the other slides in this template, you can go ahead and check the description box below to the links for those. All right, let's get started. We're going to start by creating a new blank slide. This is the previous slide. So if you haven't created this one yet, the video is either it's going to be on the card on your screen, or it's going to be in the description box below. Let's go over to new slide, and I'm going to create a new blank slide. Next, we're going to insert an image. I'm going to go to insert pictures, stock images, and I'm just going to give this a moment to load. We are going to search for Bouquet, so I'm just going to search for Bouquet. That's the image we want to use, and I'm just going to scroll till I find the image I want to use, which is this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and insert and give this image a moment to download. All right, what we're going to do now is copy the image, and I'm going to right click, format background. We're going to select picture or texture fill, and for the picture source, select clipboard. Select the image and then delete it. Next up, we're going to insert a text. Go over to the insert tab and we're going to select text box. I'm going to copy the title, which is our portfolio, and I'm just going to paste. Select the entire text box, change the font to Libra Baskerville, and size is going to be 48, and I want it to be on 2 lines like this. This is fine. Let's change the color of the text. The color of the text is going to be this brown color. Let me just quickly scroll to the top. This is the brown color 480F00, as well as the peach color, which is going to be FBD2D2. This is going to be in the description box below, as well as this text. They are going to be in the description box below. The links for the images we're going to use for the 2 pages of this our portfolio section, as well as the testimonial section, is all going to be in the description box below. All right, I'm going to come here and I'm going to hold shift and then rotate this text, and I'm going to move it till it's, let me see, I'm going to just move it, let's say somewhere around here. Now I want to duplicate this slide because we're going to have 2 pages for our portfolio section. So I'm going to select this slide, Control D to duplicate. So I'm currently in slide 8, and what I'll just do is hold shift down and move this one just right around here, and we are going to have this. Let's go back to slide 7. Now what we're going to do is insert our images. I've already downloaded the images I'm going to use, so you can go ahead and do that. So I'm going to insert it directly from my computer and just paste it into PowerPoint. Next, I'm just going to come over to images. We are going to use 3 images. This one, I'm intentionally adding them one by one because 2 of the images are going to overlap, so I want to put it in order. If you don't put it in order, no worries, I'll show you how to just rearrange things. I'm going to select this one next, bring it in, give this a moment. I'm just going to reduce the size for now, and finally we're going to bring in the next image. Just give this a moment, and I'm going to reduce this. I wanted this image to be above this one, so just in case you brought in different orders, what you do is go to this arrange tab and you can open the selection pane, and that way when I select on an element, you can see. So if this one happens to be on top, let's say like this, you can just move it back down because I want this image to be on top this one. I'm going to close the selection pane and then right click on any of the images and format picture. I'm going to add a shadow and border to our images. So I'm going to select all three images. Under picture format, let's select border, and we're going to make the border white, and then um, we can just go under fill where it says line. We can change the width of the width of our line to 7 points, and then let's select the images again. Under picture effects, let's add a shadow, and I'm going to use this first option, which is the what are you calling it? Let me see. This first one, which is the offsets bottom right. I want to make some modifications to the side shadow, so I'm going to okay, under this effects, expand shadow. Let's change some details here. The blur, I'm going to make 4.33, and the angle is going to be 90 degrees, and the distance is going to be 1.4. All right, now I'm doing it for all of them at once to just make things easier. Now let's select this first image. Let's change the height. The height of this image is going to be 15.5, and then come over to this section here, size and properties, because I won't change the size here, but I've already changed it there. Change the rotation to 356. Let's select this one. Let's just change the height in this tab. It's the same thing. You can either do it here or here. I'm going to make this 8.75, and I'm going to make the rotation 5 degrees. For this one, we're going to change the height to 8.5, and the rotation is going to stay at 0. Now let's move around our images to kind of have our final placement for them. This one, I want it to be around, let's see here. This I'm going to move out of the way just a little bit to this side, and this one is going to come down. Let me use my arrow key to move it and move it up a bit. This one I'm just going to move. I'm just trying to figure out like where I feel like it looks good to me. So yeah, I'm just going to sort of leave it like this. There really isn't any real place. I just wanted to feel sort of scattered, well, I say, where it doesn't feel like everything is all neat and orderly. But anyway, that is what I've kind of spaced the images out of. Now let's now add some labels to our images. I'm going to go over to insert, or in the home tab under shapes, go over to shapes. We're going to go under block arrows, and we're going to select this item, which is pentagon, and I'm just going to click and insert the arrow. Let's go over to the dimensions. I'm going to make the height 1.75, and the width is going to be 7 cm. And under fill, let's change it to this peach color. Just in case I haven't mentioned it, the color is going to be in the description box below, and I call it peach, but PowerPoint says it's rose, whatever. Shape outline, we're going to remove the outline, and this is going to be no outline. We're going to need 3 of these, so I'm just going to create copies before I add my text. I'm going to create one here, oops. Just hold Control, select the object, hold Control, and then drag. This one and this one, select both of them, go over to rotate, and we're going to flip horizontal. The position for this tag is going to be, let's see, here, this is, this is fine, and we're just going to have that here. Let's now add in our text. I'm going to go to my notes, and I'm going to copy this. I'm going to minimize, double click the shape, and then paste in your text. Now let's modify the text. I'm going to select the text, and I'm going to go over to home, change the font to Poppins. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but there are sometimes when you want to change the name of a font and PowerPoint will warn you. If you don't have the font in your font library, you may end up renaming Aptos, which is the default, to Poppins. So just in case, if you don't have Poppins, it's I think it's one of those free fonts that are easy to get online. You should be able to get it. Even I don't know if Libra Baskerville is also a default because I've added a lot of fonts to my library. Just in case. I'm just going to change that by clicking enter, and then I'm going to leave the size at 18. I'm going to change the color of the text to that brown color. Next up is this one. So I'm going to just move it down, let's see, around here. I'm going to grab the text, copy it, and then paste, select the text, change it to Poppins, and I'm going to change the color of the text to brown, and then finally I'm going to copy this text, double click on this shape, paste, select the text, change to Poppins, and then change the color of the text also. Alright, what I'm going to do is now group these individual images because we want each one to come in when we animate them. So I'm going to select this text box and this image, or the shape and the image. I'm going to group using Ctrl and G, select this one, group, and then this and this, group. And I now have this on top. No worries, I'm just going, if yours is at the bottom, it's fine, but I'm just going to use the selection pane. So select the selection pane. This is group 18. I'm going to bring, let me minimize it. Group 15 is the other one on the left. So this is group 18. I'm going to bring group 18 under group 19. All right, that is it for this first page. The second one is very identical to this. We're just going to use 3 images for this, and then we're going to add our images, add some effects to the images, and then have these labels like this. So let's go to the next page. For this, we're also going to need 3 images. So I'm just going to grab my images. I'm going to select this. This one, we didn't worry too much about the order. We'll just use the selection pane to move it around. So I'm going to select all 3 at once. I'll select this, and then I'm going to select, what's the last one? I believe, oh yeah, this one. And I'm just going to bring all 3 into PowerPoint. I just want to make sure I select everything with the exception of this title. And I want to reduce the height. And I'm going to select this one is going to be the one at the bottom, sort of, and this one is going to be at the left, this one is going to be on the right. Let's add the border and then shadow before we change the dimensions. So I'm going to select all 3 images, go to picture format, picture border, make it white, and while we're here, this format picture, underline, I'm going to make the width 7. Next up is a shadow. I'm going to go to picture effects, shadow, and I'm going to use this first one, offset bottom right, and then we're going to change the shadow settings. So come over here, and I'm going to change the blur to 4.33. The angle is going to be 90 degrees, and the distance is going to be 1.4. Next up, let's come over to this section. We're going to do this individually now. Let's start with just this image. I'm going to come over to this size and properties. The size for the height, we're going to make it 9 cm for height, and rotation, we're just going to leave it at 0. Going to come over to this one. The height of this one is going to be 8.75, and rotation is going to be 4 degrees. Oops, 4 degrees, not 40. Next is going to be this. The height is going to be 8.5 and rotation is also going to be 4 degrees. I'm just going to go back to the previous page and copy these arrows instead of creating new ones. So I'll just select this arrow. Let me see if I can copy. Let me just copy one. I'll just copy this and then go back to this slide, paste, and I'm just going to, we'll group it, then move it around afterward. I'll select this, create a copy, bring it here. I'll just remove the text, select this. Let's change the rotation, or we can go to shape formats, do the same thing, rotate, or in the home tab here you can use arrange, and you can also have this rotate option, and then we'll flip horizontal. I'm going to create another copy and bring it here. So I'm going to grab the text for this. This is going to be corporate party. So I'm going to copy this, come over here and paste. And I want to figure out the placement for this arrow. Let me see. Yeah, it's fine. So it's fine there. Next up, let me add the text to this one gender reveal party. Double click, paste, and I'm going to maybe move it. Let me bring it closer. Let's say here, and then final one, birthday party. Double click, paste, and select and move it here. Going to select this through, Ctrl G to group, select this two, Ctrl G to group, this two also Ctrl G. Now I'm just going to sort of move it around before I decide where things are supposed to go. I'm going to start with this one. Let me just say, I'm going to move it here. I'm going to grab this one, bring it closer, much, let me see, around here. Let me just bring it down just a little bit. And then finally, I have this one and I'm going to raise it up. Let's see, I'm going to use my arrow key to move it to the side. So it just so happened for me that, let me see if I can't quite figure, I think I want this one to be at the bottom. So it was very close to what I want. I want this one to be at the bottom. So we're going to need the selection pin. What is this? This is group 12. I'm going to bring it down under group 11, sorry. So you have this one at the bottom, this one above it, and then this one is going to be about both of them. Anyway, we're essentially done with this slide. Let's do the final slide for this particular tutorial, which is the testimonial section, and then we'll come back and then add our animations to these groups or these images, and then we're also going to add that to our text as well. Let's create a new blank slide. So I'm going to come over to new slide, blank, and we're going to create a new slide. We're going to start with a shape. I'm going to go over to shapes, rectangle, and I'm just going to draw one here. Bring it to the top left corner, and then just drag it so that the height completely covers the height of our frame. Next, I'm going to go over to fill. We're going to use the peach or pink color. Outline, we're going to select no outline and remove the outline for the rectangle. Let's change the width of this rectangle to 8.75. Next up is going to be an image, and I'm just going to grab that image, which is this one. The link to that image, all the images will be in the description box below. The height of this image is going to be 15.25, and I'm just going to move it till it's around here. Next, we're going to insert our text. So go to insert text box. I'm going to grab the um, title for this slide, and I'm going to paste it here. Select the entire text box, and we're going to change the font to Libra Baskerville. Size is 48, and the color is going to be that brown color. And I'm going to move it so it's like, let's see here. Maybe I could move it a bit closer. I'm going to create another copy of this text box so I can just reuse it. Let's change the font of this to Poppins. Size is 18. Now let's grab our text. I'm going to copy this first text, paste. Let me increase the width so that all our text is on 2 lines. Let's see, just like this. I'm going to create 2 more copies, holding Ctrl and Shift so I can also keep it aligned while creating copies. I'm going to move on to the next one, copy, and then select everything, paste, and then finally I'm going to copy this and then paste. All right, so the spacing of this, I don't really have any way to just say okay what spacing it is, but let me see if I could just move it. I'm holding shift while I do this so I don't move the text box around. Let me move this so we have equal spacing. So I'm just going to move it up just like this. Anyway, this looks fine, and we can now add animations and transitions for the slides. Let's go back to slide number 7, and we'll go to the animations tab. Let's select this first one. We want to use the float in transition, and yeah, we have this coming from the top. We're going to change the start to with previous. All other settings remain the same. Next up is going to be this one, is going to be floating also, and then this one is going to be after previous, and then this one float in. Under effect options is going to float down. You can also use the flying option if that's what you want, but we're going to use float in for this one. It's going to be after previous, so we'll have this one first, then this one, then this one. Let's go to slide number 8, animation. Select this one. We are going to, oh no, let's start with this one. This is going to be float in, and I want this one to come from the top, so it's going to float down. The start is going to be with previous, then we have this one floating also. We are going to have it float down, and then we are going to change the start to after previous. Finally, we have this one is going to float in, and we're going to leave the direction as it is. We're just going to change this to after previous. Next is slide number 9. We're going to leave the title alone, but we're going to add the effects to our text. So float in is going to come from the top, and this is going to be with previous. This one float in. The start is going to be after previous. We're going to select this one, float in. Start is also going to be after previous. I'm just going to select all 3 slides, go over to transitions, and we are going to use reveal for all 3 because that's the transition we've been using throughout this entire template. So I'm just going to apply it, and now we're going to Go back to slide number 7. Start from there so we can see our progress so far. See how these um, slides look like in the slideshow view. I'm just going to come over here and start the slideshow, and I'm just going to give this a moment, and we'll have our images come in, move on to the next slide, which is the second portfolio slide, and then finally we're going to move on to the testimonial slide. I Let me see. Oh, it seems like I didn't um, add that transition to the final slide, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. All right, this time hopefully it's going to work well. Have our transition and then animation with our images coming in, and then finally we have the testimonial slide, which is a very simple slide. Anyway, that is it for this section of our course. I mentioned it earlier when we're looking at the is this services offered slide. You can use this to create a section zoom. Maybe just create section zooms with these images, and then you can now create like an expanded version where you can add more images or more content. Where if you can click on either of these images and just take you to a other sections of slides that have more content. But anyway, that is it for now. If you want to watch the other videos on how to create the other slides in this template, you can go ahead and click on the playlist on screen right now, or you can check the description box below for the course playlist or the link to the individual videos in this course. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.